the middle of the week of our quarantine life. We're going to wait about 2 minutes to just make sure everyone gets in and gets settled. So whether it's good morning for you or maybe it's early afternoon, thanks for tuning in and taking some time to move your body today. We're going to be doing some Yin Yoga today. So while we're waiting, I can just go over Yin Yoga. If you've never tried it before, today is going to be a really good, easy beginner's class to get us nice and warmed up and introduced to the idea of Yin Yoga. It's a very slow-paced practice, typically 3 main components. We're going to be breathing, lots of deep breathing. We're going to be holding the poses for between 1 to 5 minutes. And we're going to be still. And sometimes I think that's even harder than moving through a vinyasa flow. So the Yin practice places a little bit of stress on the tendons, the ligaments, the fascia, all of our connective tissue. It also promotes fluidity in the joints, making you a little bit more mobile. And it also deepens your flexibility, just because we're spending time holding poses for a little bit longer than we normally would. So that's essentially what the practice is about. I'm going to be threading in a couple of stories along the way. I think I have 4 picked out for some of the poses. So while we're holding them, we get to listen to Rumi and some of her insight. So it should be a fun, well-rounded class. The idea is really just to leave you feeling a lot more open and more connected to your body and less stressed out and less tense. You know, we carry so much tension in our body, especially during times like this where, you know, things can be confusing or uncomfortable. So that's why I wanted to kind of add this on. In addition to my weekend vinyasa classes, I wanted to offer you guys something new, something different. So this is going to be a nice, well-rounded Yin practice. And so let's get started. I think we've got everybody here now. We're going to begin with alternate nostril breathing. Okay, so Nadi Shodhana. The way that works is we're going to inhale in through one nostril, and then exhale out the opposite nostril, and we'll switch back and forth. It's great for balancing both sides of the hemisphere of our brain, both hemispheres of our brains. Balances the masculine and feminine sides of our bodies. And you know, we want to be really mindful to focus on pranayama, you know, with coronavirus, which does affect and hit our respiratory system so deeply. So, here we go. Come into a comfortable cross-legged position. I'm going to start with the alternate nostril breathing. Once you get the hang of it, you can just follow in with me and join it, okay? So I'm going to place my right hand right down onto my knee, and again, I'm in a nice comfortable seat. I have a bolster to prop me up. You can be sitting on a blanket or a block if you have one, okay? Just add a little bit of boost to your hips and to your pelvis. So put your right hand right onto your knees, okay? And we're going to take our first 3 fingers that we'll be working with, okay? So you're going to plug in your left nostril with your thumb, and you're going to just place your middle pointer finger near your third eye, okay? You can touch your third eye. I know some people don't like to touch your face. Then just keep it like right above your third eye, okay? So with that left nostril plugged in, take a deep inhale through your right nostril. Hold the breath at the top. And then plug the right nostril in with your middle finger. Let go of the left nostril and exhale out. Inhale through the left. Hold the breath. Exhale out through your right. Inhale through the right. Exhale through the left. Inhaling through your left nostril. Exhaling through the right. breath. Complete the exhale on the other side. Inhale as you expand the belly. Exhale, navel to spine. Take 3 or 4 rounds like this at your own pace. Last round. As you exhale it out onto that side, place both your palms facing up on your knees and just take a few natural deep breaths. Nice deep inhale, expand the belly. Out through your nostrils, let it all go. Now that we're a little bit more centered and clear and focused, I would like to come into Ganesha Mudra, which is the mudra of the deity Ganesha, who's the beloved deity. He's known for having his elephant trunk, if you're familiar with that. So go ahead and take your left hand and let the palm face forward. And then take your right hand and just clasp both palms together. And then slide your palms and just clasp the fingers into a little bit of a bind here, okay? And the way we're just gonna do this is, this is the mudra, okay? This is the mudra, Ganesha Mudra. When you take a deep inhale, I want you to pull the grip apart, okay? And when you exhale, I just want you to relax. So take a deep inhale, pull the wrists apart, and then exhale to relax your shoulders down. Inhale, get active in your mudra. Pull the elbows apart from one another. Exhale, just relax everything. So continue with that, right? Imagining that when we have these obstacles and things that come up, we might tend to tense up in our body. And can we learn to just breathe and relax it down? So all of that stress, that tension, the confusion, having to stay stuck, just exhale it out. Inhale, pull your fists apart, nice and strong, make it count. Completely let go, maybe you open your mouth side out. One last time like this. Hold the breath, really pull your elbows apart, shine the heart forward. And exhale your arms wide this time and let it all go. Great job, everybody. Let's come on to our hands and knees and take a tabletop position to start off. If you have a blanket, you can grab your blanket now. Place it down underneath your knees, okay? And then just make sure that the hands are underneath your shoulders, okay? And we're nice and aligned over here. Like I said, most of this practice is gonna just be long holds, but we may do a few things to warm up the body. So we're gonna start with a few cat-cows. So once you find your alignment, spread your fingers wide. Take a deep inhale, come into cow pose. Lift your tailbone, shine the heart forward, look up at the ceiling. And then exhale, tuck your navel in towards your spine, guide your shoulders up towards the ceiling, and tuck your chin towards your chest. And then lift through the tailbone, through the lumbar spine, through the middle of the spine, all the way up to your cervical spine. And then round it through, making it one solid fluid line. And you can take this a few times. You can go a little bit faster if it suits you. You can go a little bit slower if that's what you need right now. The unique thing about this experience is that it's going to affect us all differently. You know, I've been seeing lots of things about how we should be spending this time, being ultra productive, right? Getting through our to-do lists, all the things that we have stored up in the back. But I think there's also an element of just being still and allowing yourself to indulge in those Netflix or, you know, watch a movie. Do things that maybe make you feel, I don't know, not that productive, but that's okay too. We don't have to spend all this time coming out, you know, in a different manner. We just have to get through it and do what works for us as we nurture our bodies. Be kind to yourself. Walk your hands forward slightly. And then take a few Sufi circles, okay? Just big, wide circles with the hips. This is a good area to notice if you feel any tension, any tightness anywhere. And if you do, you just hold on a little bit and breathe into that area of tension and tightness. Come forward like you're coming to a cobra. Send it all the way back like you're coming to a child's pose. Keep the circle wide. Right? And then come back for a moment and switch it up. Take it the opposite direction. And don't forget to breathe. Deep belly breaths. When you inhale, visualize the belly expanding. As you exhale, tuck your navel in close to your spine. One last big Sufi circle, guys. And then let's come into child's pose. We'll take it wide to start. Spread your knees a little bit further apart. Let the toes tuck. Guide those hips down towards your heels. Okay? And then cup your armpits inward slightly so the elbows do stay lifted. And then guide your third eye down to the ground. Then take a few deep belly breaths right here in your child's pose, okay? Maybe even lift the corners of your mouth, coming into a smile. And feel that connection between your belly and your thigh, okay? So good. Come on back up, guys. All right? And our first pose for today is going to be butterfly pose. This is also known as Baddha Konasana in Vinyasa Yoga. So Yin Yoga gives us a couple of different names for some of the more commonly used poses. So bring the bottom of the feet together right here, okay? The closer they are to you, you might, it'll be a little bit, if you're a little less flexible, you bring the feet a little bit closer to you. Otherwise, you could keep them a little bit further apart. You also can prop your hips up on a blanket right here, okay? So just to keep your pelvis shifting forward so you don't fall back in your hips. Another option here is to place the blocks on the sides of your knees, okay? And to keep it nice and supported if you're already feeling stress in this position, okay? So find a place that's comfortable for you guys. Then we're going to interlace our fingers, okay, and then wrap them around our feet right here. And then you're just going to guide the elbows in towards the inner thighs and relax your head down here, okay? You can also probably place the block right here in front of you on a higher setting if you want to bring your head down to a block. Okay, so you have different options. And now we're just going to be here for about 3 minutes, guys, which is why we want to make sure we keep the pose nice and comfortable for us, okay? Don't worry so much if the spine is rounding here, okay? Yin Yoga, we're not as concerned about alignment or how the pose looks. I really just want you to feel the sensation. If you can feel it, you're doing it right. Next few moments, just breathe. And don't worry, I'll let you know when 3 minutes are up, okay? So all you have to do is just leave. Keep going, you're about halfway there. Use the breath to keep you grounded. My first story for today is called Two Different Birds Flying Together. You stay right where you are and just listen. A physician regularly walked home through a field every evening after he had finished his house calls. His home lay underneath the path of migratory birds who spanned the sky while they flew to their respective destinations. He loved birds and often watched them closely when they flew overhead, trying always to observe their migrations. Late one afternoon, the physician was tired after a long day, but insisted on walking home rather than accepting a ride from a patient's son. As he strolled through the green countryside, he caught sight of two birds who were flying rather low, as if separated from their flock. They looked unusual, not the common birds who normally flew overhead at this time of year. He started to become curious and focused closely on this pair of birds. They looked odd flying together for sure, because they were different breeds. The physician had never seen anything like it and, after positively identifying the species, thought the matter through. He wondered to himself, how is it possible for the heavenly goshawk to fly with the earthbound owl? Why would a bird who belongs in paradise accompany a bird who essentially belongs among the ruins of the earth? Soon the birds began to descend, preparing to land not far from where the physician had stopped to watch them. As they landed and began to hop toward what might have been a cluster of worms on the ground, the physician noticed that the birds were limping. He had wondered how it was possible for two completely dissimilar birds to become companions, and now he had his answer. They were both lame in one leg, and that had become their binding factor. Slowly guide your head up. Okay, bring your feet out in front of you. Woo. Maybe shaking a little bit. And rock your knees side to side. What I love about that story is that I think it applies so much to what's going on today. Two completely different people, right? Some of you may not have thought you could ever relate to. Now all of a sudden, we have this thing in common that's binding all of us, right? Just reminds us that we're all in this together. I really like that one. Okay. Take a quick altar pose. Place the palms down next to your hips, okay? Feet are about hip width apart. Lift up your heels. Lift up your booty and your glutes. Relax your head down. Take a deep inhale right here. And open your mouth to exhale out. Come on back to have a seat. Sukhasana. Simple, easy seat. So cross-legged position right here. Now we're going to do a little bit of neck releasing. If you have blocks, you can place the blocks right down next to you here. Remember, you can also use a book. You don't have to have a block. Any big textbook or anything like that that you have, stack 2 books on top of each other, okay? Anything works. Now, from here, guys, we're going to take our right hand, we're going to reach over our head and grab hold of the left ear, okay? Just the left ear here. Take a deep breath. Place your left hand on your block now, okay? And maybe you can, if you're up here and you feel comfortable, then leave it on the highest setting. Lower it down depending on what's comfortable for you. My fingers are facing over towards the left side. And then tug that left ear just a little bit. You'll immediately start to feel a nice stretch in your pectoral muscles and the side of your neck. And then I want you to maybe push the block just a little bit further away from you. Okay? And then push into all of your fingers, all the fingers. And then slowly, if the palm's on the ground, push into the palm. Notice when you push into that palm, you're going to feel a lot of sensation over here. Maybe. For me, I do. And we're just going to be here, okay? For 3 minutes. Our shoulders tend to tense up a lot because of our culture of sitting and typing and being on our laptops. I love this neck release, especially in the morning, right when you wake up, prepares you for your day. Take a few deep breaths right here. You may find that 2 minutes can be a lot longer than you would initially anticipate when you're holding a pose of discomfort. But we're all here together. Just take your time. Maybe close your eyes if it's comfortable for you. I like to imagine, I usually think of the beach when I close my eyes. I imagine the ocean and the dolphins and the sand and the sun and flowing on the beach. One more minute, okay? Just hold it. Deep inhale, expand the belly. When you exhale, let it all go. About 30 more seconds. And now gently, very gentle here, okay? Remove the right hand from your ear, place the right hand on the block, and gently guide your neck back to somewhat neutral position, okay? Switch. So same thing on the other side. Now take your left hand, loop it over your head, and grab hold of that right ear. Give yourself a nice gentle tug. Pull your left elbow down towards the ground. And then find a place on your right hand that's comfortable for you. You could also be touching the ground. You don't have to be on a block. And then push your fingertips into the ground, into the block, so much so that you start to feel your neck releasing. And then place the palm down if you can, and then breathe. And remember, with each deep breath, we allow ourselves to relax just a little bit further here. Halfway there, guys. And then slowly release the left arm down to your block. Neutralize your neck. Good. And then just make a few circles with your neck, okay? Make a big round, nice and slowly in one direction. Looking up at the ceiling, towards the left, down towards your chin, your chest, and up towards the right. And back up towards the ceiling. And then lower the chin down towards your chest. Look back up towards the ceiling. Turn over towards the right side. Look over the right shoulder. Keep your hands on the blocks. And then turn over to the other side, towards the left. So good. Come back to the center. Find that Ganesha mudra that we did in the beginning of class. Take a deep inhale. Pull the elbows apart. And exhale to let all of that just go. So good. All right, guys. Now we're going to come into a straddle. Okay, so go ahead and spread your first half straddle. So just bring your left foot out in front of you, or your right foot out in front of you. And then grab your left foot and make a figure 4 first to start off, okay? Good. Now when we're here, we're going to go ahead and pull, actually I'm just kidding guys, sorry. I was just kidding. First, spread your legs wide. We are coming into the straddle. All right. So spread them out so that it's in a position that's comfortable for you. Make sure your toes stay nice and active, okay? And try not to round your spine as much. Come up tall. Good. Now reach your hands up over your head. Bring the shoulders away from your ears. Maybe back onto your shoulder blades. Turn over towards the right side. Okay? Twist from your torso. And then slowly guide your head down towards your knee. Okay? And place the hands down wherever they come naturally. If you need to take a little micro bend in your knee, you can go ahead and do that. You can also place blocks down next to your calf, okay? And place your hands on the blocks to relax it down. So we're going to be on this side for about a minute, and then we'll move over to the other side for a minute, and then we'll come into the center. So deep breathing, guys. Come on back up, nice and easy. And take it over towards the left side. If you want to use blocks, you can do that. Reach your hands up overhead twist your torso and come on down to fold. It's okay if your spine is rounding here. Don't worry so much about what the pose looks like. Okay? Remember, if you can feel sensation, you're doing it right. Okay, come back to the center space. And now we're going to come and fold towards the center space. And this is a great place to have a block, okay? If you have a block or your books or something, a pillow, a blanket, anything. You can place it out in front of you, okay? And then if you can, just place the forearms right here. You can interlace your fingers, okay? And you're just going to hang out. Keep the neck relaxed down. Some of us, or some of you, may go a little bit further. You may not need the block, okay? You may just have a little more open hips. Maybe you'll come down onto your forearms to the ground and round your spine. Keep the feet engaged and active, okay? We want to protect the knees. And the longer you stay here, you may find yourself body wanting to come down even deeper, and maybe the heart will come down towards the ground. So you're going to be here for 3 minutes and just breathe. The next story is Cow on a Green Island. There is a green island that never dries up, forever spreading lush and bountiful. On this island lives a cow who feeds sumptuously on the grasses and grows fatter and healthier each day. All day long, he roams the abundant meadows and feeds without a moment's respite until dusk. Once darkness descends and the green can no longer be seen, the cow begins to fret. What am I going to eat tomorrow? He agonizes. Will there ever be any food to eat again? He worries himself literally thin. Every night he loses all the weight he had put on during the previous day, as he worries about the next day's provisions. In the morning, he's a mere shell of the cow he was the night before, looking lanky and unkempt. He can hardly walk straight from lack of strength and feels that it's his last day alive. As the sun begins to shine and the greenery again becomes apparent, the cow cannot contain his joy. Without losing another moment, he pounces on the grasses, which have grown through the night, until they now reach the underside of his belly, and eats as though he's been famished for years. As he eats, he puts back on the weight that he'd lost during the night and soon becomes as fat and as strong as the day before. This cycle is repeated regularly. The cow frets all night and loses weight, and the next day, when he sees the grasses, he feeds on them and puts the weight back on. I spend my days grazing on this grass, but I lose all the goodness I gain from it in the nighttime, when I worry about not finding any grass to eat the next day. The cow occasionally ponders. But every day, there's plenty of fresh grass again for me to consume, and I do so happily. The supply never vanishes, but I don't seem to have any faith in it. I wonder why I behave this way. What kind of diseased thinking is this? What I gain during the day, I myself destroy in the night. Why can't I change? This has become my ingrained behavior, and there's nothing I can do about it? While he's aware that he's taking the wrong approach to life, nevertheless, the cow is unable to change. Habit has become so deeply implanted in his mind that there's no place for trust. I think that one's kind of funny. Guide your hands up towards your thighs, coming into this wide straddle position. Place your hands underneath the thighs, bend your knees, and slowly guide your feet down next to each other. Okay, with the knees slightly bent, come on forward and take a forward fold just for 30 seconds or so. Take a few deep, yummy breaths right there. Should feel really good. So, we get used to the things that we have. We are creatures of habit. But we have to kind of balance some of that with trust and faith when we're not able to go about our regular routine, right? Which is kind of like what we're at right now. Come on, back up, guys. And then spread the knees out again just a little bit and take a few more windshield wipers, so just side to side. So good. Okay, come on back onto your hands and knees. Okay, if you want to use that blanket, you can. We're going to take a child's pose. Balasana. This time, keep the knees together and just bring your heels down towards your hips. And keep the armpits slightly tucked, right? So imagine that you're holding something in your armpit. And relax the head down. So good. All right, now we're going to slide it on forward to come into a Sphinx pose, okay? So, put this out of the way for a second for you guys. Okay. Sphinx pose, come onto your belly. Okay. And then what we're going to do, is just like I'm doing here, you're going to take your forearms and place them down onto the ground, okay? Now, you want to try to keep your elbows parallel, if you can. The feet can just be hip-width apart, but if for some reason your low back bothers you or anything, you can spread the feet further wide, okay? And this is it. This is where we're going to be, okay? If you're feeling a lot here, you can move your arms slightly away and bring your rib cage down a little bit. Okay. Otherwise, bring your hands back closer to you. Allow the collarbones to broaden. Push your pelvis down into the ground. Okay. Also, you can place a blanket underneath the elbows if this is bothersome for you. So we're going to be here for about 2 minutes. 2 minutes more. We also have the option, after you spend about another minute here, I'll guide you, into coming into a seal pose, which is similar to where we're at right now, but our arms are going to be straight. And if that doesn't seem like you want to move from here, then you don't have to do that. You can just stay right here in seal pose. I mean Sphinx pose. We're in Sphinx pose. If you're ready for just a little bit more, you can start to take a deep inhale. And just go ahead and straighten your arms out right here. Okay? Fingertips are spread wide. Collarbone expands. Okay, this is a good place to place a blanket underneath your pelvis. Okay? It gives you a little bit of added support when you're coming into this. So you're here in your seal pose. Okay? Or you can be staying down in your Sphinx pose. We're going to be here for 1 more minute. About 30 more seconds, guys. So good. Now slowly just slide your elbows out to the side. Okay? Interlace your fingers out in front of you and place your forehead down onto those fingers. Take a deep belly breath. Breathe into the ground as you inhale. Push that belly into the ground. As you exhale, feel your navel coming close to your spine. Bend your knees for me. Okay? Keep your head relaxed on your fingers and just rock the knees side to side, kind of like windshield wipers, but just on our belly. Lower the legs legs back down. Bring your hands close to your elbows, to your armpits. Slide back to Balasana, child's pose. You can take it wide or you can take it narrow. You take your pick. Come on back up onto your hands and knees. Let's have a seat back onto our booty. Okay. Now we'll come into shoelace pose, okay? Which is sort of like a half Gomukhasana, if you're familiar with that asana. So, again, as I'm always saying, have a seat on that blanket. So, pop that blanket up underneath you. This time, both our legs out in front. I just want to shake the legs up and down a little bit, okay? Hands are right next to your hips. Up and down, up and down. Okay. Then go ahead, keep your right leg straight, bend your left knee, okay? Now you're going to stack your knees. So you're going to bring your left knee right above your right knee, okay? So it looks like this. If that's too intense or too much for you to be able to bring the knees right above each other, keep it at a figure 4, okay? So that's your variation or your other option. But hopefully you can just sort of tuck this knee in right above you, okay? Flare the right toes, keep the foot active, okay? It's not a completely passive pose. And then walk your hands forward wherever you can feel comfortable. Maybe you can grab hold of your foot, okay? You could place blocks, again, around that calf so that you can place the forearms on here and just make it nice and yummy for yourself. And then just relax your head and your neck. Maybe the forehead comes down towards your knee. Maybe the chin comes in front of your knee. Okay? And we're going to be here for 1 minute. Then we'll take the other side and then we'll come into a full Gomukhasana. So hang out here for about a minute and a half. Anyone else starting to feel warm? Yin Yoga will build the heat internally, even if feels like we're just sitting. We're doing a lot more than that. Don't hyperextend in your right leg, okay? So be mindful of that too. Slowly, come on up. We're going to take this into a simple twist. Okay, easy step. Bring the bottom of that left foot down right onto the ground. Okay, so you're already in this position. Take your right hand. Okay, you can wrap it around your left leg if that's comfortable. Or if you want to go a little bit further, hook your right elbow around your left knee. Take your left hand behind you, right close to your tailbone. Beachyogasana. And then maybe as you inhale, lift up out of the ribs. And then as you exhale, look over your shoulder blade. Just one simple twist here. And then cartwheel your arms up and around. Take it over to the ground on the opposite side. Maybe the forehead comes down onto the ground. Lift up again. We'll take our shoelace on the other side. So relax and extend out to the left leg, which you'll also already feel a little bit a little bit longer. Bend your right leg. Right knee comes on top of the left knee, okay? This side is a little different for me, so also again, paying attention to some of those nuances. Take a deep belly breath. Reach up, come up out of the ribs, shine the heart forward, and come down into a fold. Allow yourself to just hold on wherever feels comfortable for you, okay? It's okay to round the spine here. Don't worry about what it looks like. Notice if you can feel the sensation on your outer hip, your piriformis, maybe on that IT band. Slowly come on up. Move into the simple twist on this side. So bottom of your right foot comes onto the ground. Okay. Swoop your left hand behind you, right next to your tailbone. You can swoop your right arm behind you. You can wrap your left arm around, or you can take the hook and come into a twist. Continue to keep the left foot engaged and active. And try to peek over that right shoulder blade. Swoop the hands up and around, cartwheel them over towards the left side, and bow your head down towards the ground. Maybe the head touches. Slowly come on all the way back up, guys. So good. Now, you're going to take your bottom leg, the left leg, and just tuck it inward, right? So now we're in full Gomukhasana, where the knees stack on top of each other, okay? This can be enough for you. You can place your hands right on blocks next to you and sit up nice and tall, okay? You also have the couple options. You can walk your hands forward, guiding the heart forward, and just fold over your knees. Okay, or you can stay lifted. You could try to take Gomukhasana arms, okay, if you have pretty open shoulders. So if it's uncomfortable for you, just don't even worry about it, okay? Otherwise, if you want to give it a try, you can take your right arm, bring it out to the side, take your left arm, bring it out to the side. You're going to turn your right arm, so the palm twist back, and then guide it underneath you and behind. And then you're going to take your left arm, bring it on top, and maybe you can find a clasp behind you, okay? And then you would come slowly down into a fold. So behind you, essentially, you're creating that Ganesha Mudra, okay, that we did earlier in front class. A few more deep breaths right here. So good. If you took the bind, let it go. We're going to switch sides, so slowly remove your right foot, then guide the left out. Rock your knees side to side, neutralize. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to take opposite leg on top, right? So you could just take your left leg in, and bring your right leg in, bring your left leg on top. And there you go. Whatever you did last time, if you stayed right here, kept the blocks next to you, sit up nice and tall, that's totally great. If you want to try to take the bind on this side, you could do that. So you're going to bring both your arms out to the side, palms are facing forward, right? And then just turn your left hand so the palm is facing behind you now. And guide that arm down and back, okay? As you bring your right arm up above you, maybe the fingertips touch. Otherwise, just keep it like this. Or walk your hands forward and fold. We'll be here for 1 minute. 30 more seconds. Okay. Slowly lift that left leg up and place it down. Okay, be very mindful here. Okay, especially if this is your first time doing this, just move super slow. Okay, allow the knees to fall over towards the right side. Okay, take your right foot, bring it on top of your left thigh, so you can go a little bit deeper in the side stretch. And then switch. Let the knees fall over towards the left side. Pick up your left foot, place it on your right thigh. Reach forward and down with your right knee. Great. Come on back onto our hands and knees, guys. Actually, stay seated and seated. Cross-legged Sukhasana. Simple, easy seat. Good. Now bring your hands down to the ground, okay? Or you can place them on blocks. Okay? What I want you to do is I just want you to take your hands, turn them out to the side, and place them down here. We're going to just do a little wrist release, okay? And make sure the hands are about hip-width apart here. I'm going to go side to side. If you can bring them to the ground, it's even better. You just go side to side with your wrists to the side. So the insides of the wrists are facing each other. Okay, just 30 seconds here. If you can bring the wrist facing forward, go a little bit further, you can go ahead and do that, side to side. So much typing. Lots of time on Instagram. We're all on social media these days. It's okay. It's okay to do whatever you need to do, okay? No pressure to perform here. It's quarantine. Okay, now you're going to take your hands, top of your hands are going to come onto the ground. Now this can tend to be a little bit intense, definitely for me. My wrists do not like to go this way. So be kind to yourself. You could just hang out right here, guiding the top of your hands down on the ground. If this is somewhat accessible, then maybe you can rock a little side to side, okay? About 30 seconds here in this wrist release. All right. Bring your hands back up and shake out your wrist. Shake it all out. Might have felt a little unusual. Okay, now from here, we're going to come onto our backs. You're going to come into a happy baby pose, okay? So, our happy baby, come onto your back. This is basically our last pose of class. Slowly one vertebra at a time. Okay, get comfortable. Now, bend your knees. And then take your hands and grab hold of either your ankles, okay, or your shins, your ankles. If you can grab hold of your inside of your feet, then grab hold of the inside of your feet, okay? Now root into your tailbone, so the tailbone stays nice and nuzzled down. And then guide your knees in towards your armpits. And we're just going to hang out here in our happy baby. Rocking a little side to side if you'd like. Or just stay still and allow the hip flexors to release. We're going to be here for about 3 minutes, so you stay right where you are. Have a little quick story for this pose. It's called the chickpeas. On market day, a woman went shopping and came back with a big bag of chickpeas, which she intended to use to make several kinds of salad, dip, and soup. She cleaned the chickpeas, rinsing them well, and then soaking them for several hours before boiling them slowly in a big cauldron. As soon as the pot began to boil, the chickpeas started bouncing up and down, screaming, "You've bought us! We're yours! Why set us on fire now?" The woman says, "It's time for you to boil, so stay quiet and be patient. I must cook you properly until you're ready to be added to my best dishes." She asserted knowingly, "When you were growing in the fields, you were amply nourished, but now it's time to put up with some hardship. You know that your ultimate purpose is to become nourishment for the spirit, not just the body. That's how, in the end, you'll reap your greatest rewards." The chickpeas slowly stopped bouncing around and quieted down, resigned to the fact that if they wanted to be part of the grand scheme of life, they would have to forfeit their material existence and trust in the guidance of their mistress. So, I think we've got a little bit of that going on. Wondering why we're all being stuck in this quarantine. Like, why is this happening to me, to us? Instead, maybe looking at it as this phase of hardship, this challenge that we're all going through, is grooming us to become the best versions of ourselves. Take a deep breath right in your happy baby. And then just bring the knees in towards your chest. Bring your chin up to meet your knees. Give yourself a hug here. And then rock side to side. Maybe make a few circles with your knees. And then we're going to come into a supported bridge pose for 1 minute. Take your blocks if you have them, otherwise you can use your hands. So wrap your feet in towards your heels, lift up your glutes. You can place your block right down underneath your sacrum and you can hang out here. You can place 2 blocks underneath your sacrum if you're looking for a deeper back bend. And just be here. If you don't have any supported blocks or books or anything really that you can use, then you just take your hands, place them right underneath your hips. Okay, elbows are on the ground, and you'll take your supported bridge this way. Once you've arrived there, lift through your chest, bring your chest up towards your chin, and then release the chin. Maybe even imagine that there's a lemon right underneath your throat, so you have to release the throat area. My last story. Love pulls the ear. Majnun and Layli's love affair was known to everyone, but some doubted its sincerity. One day, a group of suspecting men whose vision was clearly constrained by their inferior intelligence bumped into Majnun as he wandered through the streets, his head filled with thoughts of Layli. "Hello, Majnun," one of the men called out. "We've been wondering about it for some time and can't figure out why you're so madly in love with Layli. She's no beauty. What do you see in her?" Majnun was caught off guard. His mind was totally occupied with thoughts of his beloved and couldn't exactly catch the men's train of thought. He looked at them with bafflement. If you'd like to remove the block underneath you and come onto your backs, you can do that. "Majnun, don't look so surprised. We're serious. If you come with us, we'll introduce you to lots of beautiful girls, and you'll never look at Layla again," another of the men boasted, quite pleased with himself. "Your eyes are blind," Majnun retorted. "You can never see her beauty, not like I do. To only grasp what's on the surface is the reaction of an idiot." He turned to walk away, but changed his mind, came back to the cluster of men. "Let me tell you something," he asserted, his voice rising with each new phrase. "To only perceive what's visible to the eye is like having a beautiful jug, but being oblivious to the real beauty of the wine inside, because you can only see the container. Every person sees what he chooses to see." This time, Majnun pushed his way straight through the group of men while holding his head high, more ecstatic for his love for Layla than ever before. Come on to your backs if you're not already there. And straighten down into your Shavasana. Palms are at your hips, facing up. Bring your shoulders away from your ears. Relax your feet. Slowly bend your knees, bring your knees in towards your chest. And come make your way up to a comfortable seat at the front of your mat. And everything is what you choose to make of it. And it's all about how you see this situation that you're in right now. You can look at it with love and embrace the opportunity to be still and to take this time to move slow, right? Or you can fret about it. What path are you going to take? Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed our lovely slow yin practice. If you have any feedback, questions, or concerns, please let me know. I've attached some donation information right on the post here so you can see it in our comments. Otherwise, Venmo, Cash App, you can use one of your class packages, however you'd like to support our business while we're going through this quarantine. It's much appreciated. From my heart to yours, namaste. I will see you this weekend. Bye, guys.